All right. So I'm back with another one. Today we watching YelloPain's Happy Thanksgiving. How dare we celebrate Thanksgiving? Uh I've heard it. I like recently heard it too. So it was my first time hearing it. So this is gonna be my actual reaction to hearing it. But it's no need to keep talking. We're gonna go ahead and get into it and listen to it, all right? So once again, if you don't know, I'm Bon Shemayim, and your brother Bon, and I'm here about to get it on. So we about to listen to Yellow Pain, Happy Thanksgiving, How Dare We Celebrate Thanksgiving, and I'm gonna give y'all a little breakdown afterwards. All right, so let's get it on. So here we go. Wait, let's pause it till we get. Oh, I could skip that. Okay, skip that. Go right to it.
All this turkey. I didn't spend all this time slaving in the kitchen. Stop playing. Of course I cooked this food. You, baby, go see who's at the door.
I know you waited for this one.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, this is a cancellation. I know this is the time of the year where the family members get together, ain't it? Greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, turkey better with the dressing, ain't it? Wonder if I put a little bit of blood on the turkey, would it elevate it?
I like how he did that. How he threw in like greens, beans, like that's like the Thanksgiving celebration thing. Like everybody got some greens, and they dancing to it, right? Celebrating, getting ready to eat. So I love how he broke that down. I'm gonna go back so we can hear it again.
Beans, potatoes, tomatoes, turkey better with the dressing.
I know you waited for this one.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, this is a cancellation. I know this is the time of the year where the family members get together, ain't it? Greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, turkey better with the dressing, ain't it? Wonder if I put a little bit of blood on the turkey, would it elevate it? Huh? Bloody, bloody, bloody people of color. Cut them, shoot them, burn them, leave them to suffer. This song is not about pilgrims and Indians meeting each other and feasting for supper. This about millions of Indians murdered and villages burning and bleeding for nothing. This about all my descendants in Africa happy and acting like we ain't discussed it. Y'all be saying that ain't the reason we celebrate it. This about giving the glory to God and the time that we spend as a family, ain't it? That was so long ago, we weren't even alive. We gotta accept the changes. Sounding just like the white kids that be saying, forget about segregation.
Look, I love how he broke down. Like this is the response you get from everybody. It's so dope. Like when you try to bring truth out about this wicked holiday, which holly is synonymous with holy. So this wicked holy day that they celebrate. And I gotta go back because like the acting, like the people look believable, like they were really saying it. It's really dope. It's really dope. Let's go back here.
This about all my descendants in Africa happy and acting like we ain't discussed it. Y'all be saying that ain't the reason we celebrate it. This about giving the glory to God and the time that we spend as a family, ain't it? That was so long ago, we weren't even alive. We gotta accept the changes. Sounding just like the white kids that be saying, forget about segregation. I can't keep embracing the demons. How do we celebrate on the same day of a grievance? Murder and torture and slavery, they was really chopping Indian babies to pieces. Cut off the mama head, yeah, kick it around and play in the street with it. Hold up, did I already say chopping up babies to pieces? Chop up the baby, chop the baby, chop the baby. Grandma looking, that's okay, granny. Watch the baby, eat up the dead bodies. Yeah, and you thought the cops was crazy. I'm killing everybody. Oh yeah, I'm talking Nazi crazy. More blood than the Holocaust, but y'all still won't call it off. Kill so many Indians, they had to get Africans. That's how we got involved. Then they went and got involved. That's when they got our heart involved. Because of that reason, we made this a black tradition. Tell me who has some kissing. Ain't we the same people that was marching on Washington for racial equality? Ain't we descendants of civil rights leaders making sure they educated us properly? Ain't we the same people, mad at the same people for making a mockery? Didn't we invent cancel culture? So tell me why we can't cancel culture.
Oh man, okay. So we got to talk about this. First off, kudos to this dude, man. YelloPain, Happy Thanksgiving. How dare we celebrate Thanksgiving? This dude is super creative. No, first off, I got to give him props for that. Super creative. And cuz what he's doing is he's bringing what really happened on Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving Day massacre. He's putting it in the video. He's like literally like this is what actually happened on Thanksgiving. So this is what you're celebrating. On that tip, let's get into that really quick. Matter of fact, bravo for this dude, man. He did a really good job. The way he used his words, everything he put it together, magnificent. That like the responses he would get from the people saying like, well, that happened years ago. Like we should get over it. Like the responses he put these point on, like right on point for what people would normally say. Now let's get into the real story of Thanksgiving. This from my ancestry. This is not the place I read it from. I've read it from plenty of different places. CBS. They got all over the place. You just look up Thanksgiving Day miracle, massacre. But this is what we're gonna go to because he was showing this in his video. It says we all need to learn the painful history of Thanksgiving so we do not live in lies. And this is important because everything is a lie. They teach you about all the Indians and the pilgrims and all of that we did in school. That was a lie. All right. It says Abraham Lincoln proclaimed a day of Thanksgiving in 1863. Oh, look at that. In 1863. The federal government declared the last Thursday in November as the legal holiday of Thanksgiving in 19 I'm sorry, in 1898. However, the meaning of Thanksgiving for natives is filled with a painful history which has been covered up with the pilgrims in the Indian story. You see? The pilgrims in the Indian story covered up the painful truth and the history of what Thanksgiving actually is. Most of us associate the holiday with happy pilgrims and Indians sitting down to a big feast. And that did happen once. The story began in 1614 when a band of English explorers sailed home to England with a ship full of, what is that? Patuix Indians bound for slavery. I probably butchered that. They left behind smallpox, which virtually wiped out those who had escaped. By the time the pilgrims arrived in Massachusetts Bay, they had found only one living Patuix Indian, a man named Squanto, who had survived slavery. I probably butchered that name too. Who had survived slavery in England and knew their language. All right. He taught them to grow corn and fish and negotiated a peace treaty between the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag nation. At the end of the first year, the Pilgrims had a great feast honoring Squanto and the Wampanoags. Wampanoags. I'm probably butchering that. The Wampanoag nation and the Wampanoags, right? But as the word spread in England about the paradise to be formed in the New World, religious zealots called Puritans began arriving by the boatload. Finding no fences around the land, they considered it to be public domain. So these people, Christians now, these are Christians. These Christians just showed up here and decided to take these people land. It's crazy. Oh, there's no fences. There's no fences. It says, joined by the British settlers, they seized the land, capturing strong young natives for slaves and killing the rest. But the Pequot nation had not agreed to the peace treaty Squanto had negotiated, and they fought back. The Pequot War was one of the bloodiest Indian wars ever fought. In 1637, near present-day Groton, Connecticut, over 700 men, women, and children of the Pequot tribe had gathered for the annual Green Corn Festival, which is our Thanksgiving celebration, right? It says, in the pre-dawn hours, The sleeping Indians were surrounded by the English and Dutch mercenaries who ordered them to come outside. Those who came out were shot or clubbed to death, while the terrified women and children who huddled inside the longhouse were burned alive. The next day, John Winthrop, he was born in 1588. He lived to 1649. So, praise the Most High God, he didn't have too much longer of a life after doing this heinous crime. It says, the governor of Massachusetts Bay Colony declared a day of thanksgiving because 700 unarmed men, women, and children had been murdered. Cheered by the victory, the brave colonists and their Indian allies attacked village after village. Women and children over 14 were sold into slavery, while the rest were murdered. Boats loaded with as many as 500 slaves regularly left the ports of New England. All right. It says bounties were paid for Indian scalps to encourage as many deaths as possible. Following an especially successful raid against the Pequot in what is now Sanford, Connecticut, the churches announced a second day of Thanksgiving to celebrate the victory over the heathen savages. So this is pretty much like Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and it's sick. So YelloPain hit it right on the dot. He hit it right on the dot in his video. Everything he spoke was facts. And I saw on Facebook a young lady wrote in response, "Oh, why y'all gotta try to ruin our holidays? First off, this is not your holiday. This was a holiday that at the time it was created, you couldn't celebrate it. Your people could not celebrate it. This were brought in years and years later, and they made you compassionate towards the celebration because they had you dress up like you was an Indian in a pilgrim and y'all made peace, and we know that is not what happened. So on this note, man, this is gonna be the end of the video. I'm glad I got to give y'all a little history lesson on what happened. So this is 200, almost 200 years, 100 and some change years before 1898, where Abraham Lincoln made it a national holiday. It was already celebrated as a holiday of massacring the Native Americans. So, and not just like they massacred them like it was a fair fight, and they literally came at the end of their feast celebration to slaughter them, burning the women and children alive. So, on that note, first off, God willing, y'all not gonna be celebrating this wicked day tomorrow, and none of that, or today. It'll be today when y'all see the video. Hopefully, y'all won't be celebrating this wicked day. But if you are celebrating it, or if you are meeting with your family, whatever, people always come up with ways to celebrate it and not consider themselves celebrating it. Like, I'm just hanging out with the family. If you do get a chance to celebrate this, think about these people. Say a prayer for these people, and think about, if you already made plans and you can't change your plans, think about this next year. Think about the following years and how it would feel if somebody celebrated you being massacred. Think about how what you're doing is making your brothers, the Native Americans, feel by celebrating their massacre. All right, like imagine if we had the slavery day or something. Blacks agreed to slavery, so let's have the slavery day. Like, and we didn't celebrate it because there's a lot of Native Americans don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but the rest of the people around them do. But they know the history behind it, most of them. So it's just sad, man. All of the holidays are wicked, man. All these holy days are wicked, including birthdays. Like it's so crazy because you got Thursday, Thanksgiving, or today or tomorrow, whenever you're watching this, and then you got the next day, which is Black Friday. They go celebrate and violence and fight over deals in the store, pandemonium, and then Friday night the Sabbath comes in when you could have literally went and got all your food had it prepared for Friday and celebrated the Sabbath with your family, man, it would have meant the same thing, celebrating and feasting before God, and it would have been more righteous because it would have been on the Lord's day. So that's all I wanted to do is drop that. If you do celebrate it and you are just getting into the truth and you haven't got rid of these wicked holidays or holy days that the different people celebrate, hopefully this will encourage you to not do it going for further. Now that you know, like if you, it says if you know better, you do better. So hopefully now that you know how much of a horrific event it is and how you're pretty much making a mockery of your brothers by celebrating their massacre, I'm hoping that this will like I say, enlighten y'all to where y'all don't do it here on out. Y'all won't celebrate it after this date. Hopefully you don't celebrate it tomorrow. But like I say, if you do, hopefully next year, this year is your last year doing it. All right. On that note, I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in. Hit the like button, drop a comment, hit the subscribe button. Um, let me know of any topics, any reaction videos that y'all would like me to check out and react to or bring up a conversation on. And anybody who has any information to throw in on top of this, especially the natives or anybody like that, man, throw it in the chat. We'll definitely talk about it. And y'all have a blessed one. I'm glad y'all tuned in, and peace. All right. So let's exit this. All right, y'all. Peace.